Yo, what up you cats, My Hero Escape 20 here, and today guys, what I have for you here today is the Badass Rank Guide for Borderlands 2, and today guys, we're going to be looking at the 14 total stats that you can put your tokens in. We're also going to be looking at after your challenge levels, how many Badass Rank do you actually earn per level, and then we're going to be talking about as well the different characters and kind of some tips and tricks that I like to do for the tokens that you kind of put with that character. So let's go ahead and quickly go over the 14 total stats. So the total stats that you can put your tokens into are the critical hit damage, elemental effect chance and elemental effect damage, fire rate, gun accuracy, gun damage, maximum health, melee damage, recoil reduction. You have the reload speed, shield capacity, shield recharge delay, and shield recharge rate. So like I said, there's 14 total that you have an option. So let's go ahead and go over a few of those that you guys might get confused with or mixed up with, and maybe I can help clarify for those of you that are, new to Borderlands. It just might help you out. So let's go ahead and talk about the difference between recoil reduction and gun accuracy. So recoil reduction literally reduces the recoil of your gun. So say you're using an SMG and it is so powerful, that it just melts everything, but it's just too uncontrollable for you to use. So basically what that will do is using your recoil reduction, putting tokens into that, is going to literally reduce that gun's recoil. Now accuracy is going to increase the distance where your shots will register. So say if you're using SMG and then you have like buzzards flying around and you can't hit them. Well, if you increase your gun accuracy, you're going to be more likely to actually hit those targets instead of having to switch weapons to maybe like a sniper rifle or something. Your critical hit damage increases your actual critical hit damage, which makes sense, but the only thing with that is if you don't have gun damage, your critical hit damage is amplified off of your gun damage. So you want to prioritize your gun damage over the critical hit damage if you have an option between the two. One more thing is the shield recharge delay and shield recharge rate. So what's the difference between these two? Well, the shield recharge delay is the time it takes for your shield to be depleted for it to start recharging. Not to recharge, but to start recharging. So, as you notice on some of the roid shields or something like that, you have a high recharge delay. Well, you want those to be down for a while. So you don't want to, if you're into a lot of roid shields with all your characters, you don't really want to be touching shield recharge delay. You don't really want to kind of invest in that. But shield recharge rate is how fast once the delay is over and it starts recharging, how fast does it actually recharge? So those are kind of the difference I feel like you guys might mix up. Everything else is pretty much pretty standard, reload speed, max health, fire rate. Those are pretty obvious what those do. So I'm not going to talk about those, but let's go ahead and talk about the different levels for your badass rank. So at level 1, so let me go back. You have different challenges, and by completing the challenges, you have different stages. So at stage 1, you could get a certain amount of badass rank. But if you keep on with that challenge, there's stage 2, 3, 4, and then there's 5. And 5 is the maximum that you can get, and 1 is obviously the lowest without having anything put into it. So at rank 1 for Borderlands 2, you can get 1 to 10 badass ranks. At level 2, you can get 5. At level 3, you can get 10. At level 4, you get 50. And then at level 5, you get 100. So basically, you want to be maxing out all these to level 5 if you're working on your badass rank. So there's different ways to do it. There's also an achievement for doing this if you guys are achievement hunters. But what I'd recommend doing is just kind of doing a little bit of everything. Use different gun types, kill different things, make sure you clear everything when you're going through stuff, and then slowly over time you're going to be getting different stuff. And then later on in the game, if you're really trying to focus on this, make your character as strong as possible, then you can go back and look and target specific things that you're close to being level 5, or start new things. So that's kind of one tip I have for you for that. So let's go ahead and talk about the characters very quickly and kind of which ones I like to use for what. So with the Commando, I like putting it into max health and recoil reduction as well as shield capacity. That's just me personally, gun damage as well, but I like making my Commando very, very tanky. The Gunzerker is kind of like the bruiser of the game, but the Commando I like making tanky just because of some of his skills that can help amplify that by, grit, which gives you recoil reduction, damage reduction, and there's just other ones as well. So for the Siren, you want to be working on the elemental effect chance, elemental effect damage, as well as stuff like fire rate and reload speed. So yeah, obviously, you can use that into max health. Everybody can use everything, but with the Siren, I like to focus on those. So the Gunzerker, I like focusing on reload speed, gun damage, critical hit damage, and fire rate. Anything that pretty much has to do with guns, focus on that. Also, shield recharge delay is not bad if you're going to be using something like the B on him. It just depends what you want to use. For Zero, I love using melee damage, max health, and critical hit damage, as well as gun damage. So everything else is fine. Shield recharge delay, you don't want to really put much into it. You want to kind of keep those, if you're going the melee build, you kind of want to keep those keep those shields down so you can get more Roid damage. But if you're going the sniper build and like using Roid, the amp, then maybe shield recharge delay might help you with that. So the final one is the Necromancer, and that one is basically just like the Siren for me. I have a lot of time in the Necromancer, so I really like using the elemental effect chance and damage. Reload speed is nice, like really nice on that. I also like shield capacity because it transfers your shield over to the Necromancer. So having a larger shield will help your actual bot as well. So those are some of the tips I have. One more tip I have for you though before we wrap up this video is that don't try to do everything at once. Don't try to be like, oh man, well I'm about to play the Gunzerker, so let me go ahead and put some into max health. Like, if you're playing the Siren, when you're playing through that game, put all of your badass rank that you earn for that character into that character. Because when you start a new character, the challenges reset to 1, and you have opportunities to build more badass rank for that character. So you get more tokens and everything like that. So say I was playing through with the Siren, I would put everything into elemental effect chance, damage, fire rate, and then obviously maybe some max health or something, just to kind of like an overall, it just helps you out with every character. But you're not going to be wanting to put that into melee damage. You're not really want to be focusing on that. So those are the tips I have for you for Borderlands 2. We're going to be looking at Borderlands pre-sequel in another video. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed that, make sure you let me know. And I will definitely see you in the next video. So, previous video is the complete DLC guide for Borderlands 1. And if you haven't played that, or you just recently got that on Steam or something, that's a great way to, look at that and look at the DLCs as a whole and look at the pros and cons. So, I definitely recommend checking that out. And featured video will be a boss fight from Borderlands 2. I'm not sure what it is yet because I haven't put it together, but make sure you go ahead and check that out if you haven't yet. I'll go ahead and put it as my favorite boss fight. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you want to see more videos on Borderlands 2, please leave a thumbs up. Also, best way to contact me is on Twitter, or I have a Facebook now. And if you want to see me play this game live, go to twitch.tv/myheroescape20. So thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, peace!